Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I set up a full stack developer agent that is able to build apps for me while I sleep, powered by QwenPaw. Here you could see my full QwenPaw setup for my full stack engineering agent. So QwenPaw enables you to set a couple of agents. So it has this agent management feature where you could set up a lot of agents that help you do your job. So in this full stack agent, for example, you could see here that as I showed you here, the last app I built was called Cloudy. So what this Cloudy does is that it exposes all my agents for me on my app instead of using channels. So one of the disadvantages of channels is that you have a single, let's say, Telegram bot communicating with your agent. But Cloudy, the app I built, is able to expose all my agents, all the 19 agents you see here, directly for me on my mobile app, and also the ability to see the file. Let me show you Cloudy. So this is Cloudy. As you could see here, these are all my agents, the 19 agents you saw on QwenPaw. This is actually a mobile app that actually has this nice theme. So if you look at this full stack engineer here, or this StackForge, let's look at StackForge for example, you could see this is the entire agent, the agent working. And then you could see here that within here, I could check my files. So I could browse files on my system. So I could go through my directory, and these are all the files that the agent is using while the agent is working. So this agent, this complete React Native applications was actually built using this full stack agent. So we are going to be looking at how I was able to configure this. So let's go to agent management and create a new agent so that I take you through how you can actually create one that actually makes your application, build your application while you sleep. So let's come to agent management. So in agent management, we're going to be creating an agent. It's that straightforward. So all you need at this phase is just to put the name of your agent. That's what is mandatory. So we're going to be calling it full. So let's just call it full stack. That's all I'm going to call the agent. I'm not going to put a description. I'm just going to accept the built-in tools for now. So this is all we need at this stage. So let's switch to our agent. So this is our agent. So we open the chat window. So as you can see here, we just need to come to let's start a journey. So when you start a journey, it will ask you to configure the particular LLM that you're going to use. So for me, practically in building my apps, one thing I've noticed so far is that I'm actually in love with the Z AI. So I've been using their models, and I think it has not failed me. So this is the model I'm using for now, GLM 5.1. So I will tell you, although it's somehow, you might actually feel like most of the design actually isn't that good. I will show you how to fix all those flaws and have a full stack model that works while you sleep. So we're just going to select here. And so I'm going to select GLM 5.1 and I'm going to save. So now this becomes the default model. So when we come to the chat window, you see we have the model selected. So I'm going to start my journey. So what I normally do in order to configure my agent in most cases is that I actually used another agent to help me describe the rules of my agent. So this is what I've actually done before. And you see here, I've actually just asked Gemini to create me like what will be used to describe my soul profile and memory.md. So you see, so I'm going to use this default while I will still customize it. So watch out and see how I'm going to customize it. So first of all, I'm going to take this one and I'm going to take it back to QwenPaw. So I'm just going to paste this one here. So this is just me describing what a full stack developer does. So, but there is more to this. For example, if I want my design to be crispy and nice, so one of the things I might have to do is to add some skills, add some, but in this case, I'm just going to tell it to use design.md. So let's go and let's go to our browser. So we're going to be searching for design.md. So design.md AI is this site that actually helps you, gives you a whole lot of designs that you could use for your app. So by letting your agent from the beginning to know that each time it wants to build an app, it has to look at design.md to see what kind of designs profile fits your app. So you could do that in many ways, but I'm just going to direct it to this website. It will crawl it, and so what I'm going to do at the end is that I'm just going to paste this design.md and say use it for design. I'm going to show you another approach shortly on how you can also achieve this. So use it for design. So design of UI. I didn't actually specify the stack, but I could actually do that. So I could say stack. Let me just put stack. There I could say it should use fast API. And then I could say Vue.js. So, and then for agent framework, I could say it should use agent scope. So the agent scope is what it's going to use for my agent framework. So I think this preset is set. So I'm going to then send it. While the agent is configuring, I want to show you how you could actually do. So it's not always the case that you specify that it should use fast API, it should use design.md.ai for your design. So what you could actually do, the proper approach to handle this is that you could either come to your skill pool. So in your skill pool, you could look for whatever framework you're using, it has a skill. So what you would do is that if in order for this full stack agent to perform properly, so what you need to do is that you need to come to here. So here you see, these are all the skill websites that are supported here. So we could go to skill.sh. And then within the skill.sh, I could look for a particular skill called, let's say, fast API. And then you could see here we have fast API. There are a lot of skills here. So I think this one looks like the one with the most installed. So I'm just going to come here. So what I can do is to take this URL. And then I'm going to come to the QwenPaw console and I'm going to paste it here. So when you paste it here, and you select that it came from skill.sh, all you need to do is, let's see, I think please verify that the URL. So let's see what's happening. Verify, so it's from skill.sh. Let me see. So I'm going to come back to this. So let's try this in a second. Let's try to remove the www and see what happens. Okay, I think maybe that was the problem. So we click on skill.sh and we import the skills. So you see the skill has been created. So now our model is quite aware of how to work with fast API. And we could do that even for designs and the rest. So also you could, for example, connect your model to MCP tools. And these MCP tools, so different from ACP. So MCP tools bring in tools and skills that your model is going to be using. So for example, I could go out and look at the MCP skills for design.md. So for design.md, it might actually have an MCP. So we could look for it and then add it to this MCP client. But I just decided to provide it in the chat window. And you see now that our entire full stack developer is being configured. So you see, so what is actually happening behind the scene is that your files for your agent are being modified. So your agent files are being modified, you see, in real time. So it's still going on. So another thing we could still do is talk about these channels a bit. So how do you actually work with your full stack developer nonstop? So AgentPaw also has this feature called mission. So that your agent is going to take on a mission until it finishes the mission. So what it's going to do is going to create user stories of your task. So when you do a slash like this and put mission, you say launch a mission mode. It automatically decompose, implement, and verify complex tasks. This mode will bypass tool guardrails. So you can use this mode when you want to actually run on long running tasks that will run for a very long time. So let's look at channels. So I told you, for example, you could connect it to Telegram. So for Telegram, you could just come to bootfather and all you need to do is paste the token, your boot token. So you need to open bootfather on Telegram and paste it here. For me, this was exactly too annoying. I had 19 agents. I had to create 19 bots. So what I did rather was to build a fast API wrapper around QwenPaw. And that is what you could see here, that I now have this application here. So here I can now interact with my agent. So when I'm on my phone, I could even view the files that the agent is producing. So you could see here that I could check the two results. I could check what is actually happening behind the scene as my agent work, you see. So I could actually view my agent files on my mobile. I think this has actually increased my productivity because now I have all my agent. And in terms of connecting this to my system, what I actually used was I used Tailscale. So I installed Tailscale. So my Mac, Tailscale gives my Mac this IP address. So with Tailscale, I can use Tailscale tunnel to tunnel my backend, and then my mobile app is able to connect to my backend. And in as much as my home lab is on, I will be able to access all my apps using my own computer backend. So this is how I was able to configure the full stack engineer you see here that has been helping me build apps while I am on the go or I'm at rest. And this has actually helped me to be very productive. So if you like this kind of content, subscribe to my channel and I will keep them coming.